Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you play Whiteout Survival, then today's video is going to help you a lot because we are talking about the Labyrinth event. This is one of those events that runs every week and gives you a lot of rewards. But the problem is many players are not using the correct strategy, which means they clear fewer levels and miss a lot of free rewards. So in this video I'll explain 3 important things: the best troop ratios, the best march setup, and the best items to buy from the Labyrinth shop. If you follow these strategies, you can easily clear 10 to 15 more levels every week, and some players even go 20 to 30 levels higher than before. So let's start with the basics. Labyrinth event schedule. First, you need to understand how the Labyrinth works during the week. Different stages unlock on different days. On Monday and Tuesday you get Land of the Brave, which focuses mostly on hero gear. On Wednesday and Thursday, 2 stages unlock: Cave of Monsters, which is related to pets; Glowstone Mine, which focuses on chief charms. Then on Friday and Saturday, you get 2 more stages: Earth Lab, which is connected to research; Dark Forge, which is about chief gear. And finally on Sunday, you get the last stage called Gaia's Heart. Now the important thing here is that some of these stages use 1 march without heroes, while others allow 3 full marches with heroes. And this is where the real strategy comes in. Best troop ratio for most stages. For most Labyrinth stages like Cave of Monsters, Glowstone Mine, Earth Lab, Dark Forge, you don't need complicated setups. A very simple troop ratio works extremely well. The ratio is 45% infantry, 10% lancers, 45% marksmen. This setup is very balanced and works consistently across many levels. Some players try more complicated ratios like 55% infantry, 15% lancers, 30% marksmen, or other variations depending on the enemies. But honestly, after testing many combinations, the 45-10-45 ratio performs just as good or sometimes even better. So if you want a simple and reliable strategy, just use this ratio and you'll be fine. Special strategy for Land of the Brave and Gaia's Heart. Now things become more interesting for Land of the Brave and Gaia's Heart. These stages allow 3 marches, which means you can use heroes and more advanced strategies. Instead of using 3 random marches, there is a much smarter setup that many experienced players are using. Let's break it down. First march, the 60-40 strategy. For the first march you want to use 60% infantry, 40% lancers, no marksmen. For heroes, the best options are heroes that scale well with infantry and lancer stats. A great example is Greg. Greg is extremely strong here because he reduces enemy damage and increases survivability. Another strong option is Lynn, who boosts damage and attack. And later in the game, Bradley becomes another excellent choice. This march becomes very tanky and deals consistent damage. Second march, Mia strategy. For the second march we use a different concept. This march is built around Mia. Mia is special because her abilities boost multiple troop types, which means you don't actually need many lancers. So the troop ratio looks like this: 54% infantry, 3% lancers, 43% marksmen. Yes, only a tiny amount of lancers. The reason this works is because Mia's skills still give strong buffs even without many lancers in the march. For this march you should use your second best infantry hero, your best marksman hero, and Mia. This creates another very powerful march. Third march, standard setup. For the final march, you simply use the remaining heroes you have. A balanced ratio works well here: 50% infantry, 20% lancers, 30% marksmen. This march will not be as strong as the first 2, but it still contributes good damage and helps you clear extra floors. Why this strategy works? The reason this setup works so well is because most players don't have 9 perfectly geared heroes. Instead of spreading your power evenly, this strategy focuses power into 2 strong marches using heroes that scale very well with specific troop ratios. This allows players to push significantly deeper into the Labyrinth. And like I said earlier, many players report clearing 10 to 15 extra floors, and sometimes even more. Best items to buy in the Labyrinth shop. Now let's talk about the shop, because this is where you convert your progress into real value. The first and most important item to buy is Mithril. Mithril is extremely important for upgrading hero gear, and it becomes a major bottleneck later in the game. After that, the next best items are Lucky Hero Gear Chests. Hero XP Components. These help you progress your heroes faster. After that, you can choose between Chief Charms, Fire Crystal Shards. If your goal is unlocking stronger troops like T11 faster, then Fire Crystal Shards are a good choice. If you want stronger stats right now, then Chief Charms are better. And finally, you can buy Chief Gear materials if you still have extra points. Final tips. So to quickly summarize, for most stages, use the 45-10-45 troop ratio. For Land of the Brave and Gaia's Heart, use the 3 march strategy with a 60-40 infantry lancer march, a Mia-based march, and a balanced third march. And in the shop, focus on Mithril and hero gear progression items first. That's it for today's Labyrinth guide. If this video helped you push more floors in the Labyrinth, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Whiteout survival guides. And if you have a different strategy that works better for you, let me know in the comments. I'd love to test it as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.